The latest installment, which is also named Tomb Raider, is an upcoming, open-world, action-adventure video game and the 9th installment of the Tomb Raider series, published by Square-Enix and developed by Crystal Dynamics as their 5th franchise-related title. The first and the third continuation, the game is set to provide no correlation to the entirety of the previous entries in the series, a full-on reboot that emphasizes the reconstructed origins of the culturally influential lead character, Lara Croft. Tomb Raider is scheduled for release in the first quarter of 2013 for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Mac OS X. Fresh from university in search of lost relics, a 21-year-old Lara Croft journeys to an island off the coast of Japan aboard the Endurance, a salvage vessel helmed by Captain Conrad Roth. Before anchoring at bay, the ship is severed in two by an unforeseen storm, leaving Lara separated from any other survivors and washed ashore. She must endure both extreme physical and emotional torture in order to survive the dangers of the mysterious hostile island. Judging from the latest teasers, Lara begins her journey devoid of any weapons, tools, or essentials, such as food and water, which the player must obtain in order to survive. It has also been revealed that in this installment, the player can actually combine pickups to create new items, improve Lara's abilities, and or fast travel to previously discovered base camps to avoid copious amounts of backtracking. Something many fans can agree was a much needed update for the series. There is a much larger emphasis on combat, as this game will employ a manual, free aim mechanic instead of using a lock-on aiming system akin to previous Tomb Raiders. Last but not least, Lara was also featured wielding a makeshift archery bow, which would entail that more advanced forms of trick shots may or may not be implemented with the game's dynamic weather system. She is even displayed firing the bow whilst riding horseback in some promotional artworks, possibly hinting that intense chase scenes could make an appearance as well. Also new to this game is Lara's survival instinct, an ability that Lara can use to solve puzzles. It will highlight useful items for use if the player is stuck in solving a puzzle. However, Lara can only do this while standing still. Some elements of the world crumble when Lara stands on them for too long. When the player jumps to grab a ledge, Lara will no longer gravitate to the nearest ledge like before. Puzzles will also be more complex than previous games. They will use elements of fire, water, wind, and friction. Tips, reminders, and the user interface will be kept to a minimum, except for indication of burnable objects, health items, and during quick time events or QTEs, preserving the new game's true-to-life survival horror aesthetic. Honestly, I'm not sure it's even possible for me to tell you how stoked I am for this reboot. Although a die-hard fan of the series, I always had a slight issue with the cheeky, almost cartoonish nature in which Lara Croft was portrayed throughout the series. Not to mention the fact that we were given an almost inexhaustible amount of options in which to best her enemies and obstacles, with no more explanation other than Lara is a British archaeologist. No offense, but I don't think most British archaeologists are as skilled with basic hygiene, let alone a pair of polished semi-automatics. For a hardcore survival purist such as myself, this kind of took away from the experience that could have been and killed some of the immersion I know this series still has the power to offer. No longer just a simplified caricature of a explorer-themed blow-up doll, the new, younger, and slightly minimalist Lara design satisfied me in ways I don't think it would even be appropriate to share in this preview. Then again, I would be lying if I were to say I didn't expect such quality, taking into account Square-Enix's history with designing flawlessly beautiful characters. I really think this was a much needed venture and look forward to adding this title to my collection. As Lara herself quoted in the 2011 E3 reveal trailer, "The extraordinary is in what we do, not who we are," effectively explaining how I personally feel about both the direction of this reboot and the controversial revision of Lara the Tomb Raider herself. Stay tuned. A Survivor will be born in 2013, as well as an extensive review by yours truly.
I hate tombs.